And a very good Friday morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Joe Benigno back with you again. The Older Pain Podcast. It is Friday. It is March the 7th. It's 2025. The Joe Benigno Older Pain Podcast brought to you by the Hackensack Brewing Company, by Need a Discount Tire, and of course, our friends at Manscaped. Programming note, the next live podcast, and a lot of people have been asking me about it, will be at the Hackensack Brewing Company coming up on the Mets home opening day, April 4th. Friday, April 4th, the Mets home opener against the Blue Jays. So that'll be the next live podcast. We hope you're there. And so I just want to let everybody know. I know a lot of people have been asking me when the next live one is, and that's when it'll be. April 4th, the Mets home opening day, and we'll have the Hackensack Brewing Company next live podcast. So you want to be there for that. All right, number of things to cover today. I want to start with my woebegone football team, which just continues to just completely piss me off. Isn't it crazy? You're hearing all these reports that the Giants are interested in Aaron Rodgers. Isn't it unbelievable that the Giants are okay? I mean, the Giants are okay with him being on the Pat McAfee show. The Giants are okay with all the baggage that allegedly, quote unquote, he brings to the table, right? Not the Jets, the Giants. And that's why the Giants, and look, I understand the Giants have had their, the last number of years have not been very good. They've been changing coaches like you change your underwear lately. I get that. But they're still a far superior organization than the Jets are. I mean, it's not even close, you know? And for if the Giants do sign Aaron Rodgers, what a kick in the ass that would be to the Jet organization. And especially if Rodgers goes to the Giants, and Devontae Adams will wind up being there with him too, especially if he goes to the Giants and they're good, right? And I understand their offensive line is not very good, and that's a big factor in all of that. But boy, throwing the ball to Neighbors and Adams, not too bad, right? Unbelievable. It really just, if you're a Jet fan and you're not completely pissed off, I don't know what to tell you. I really, really don't. And I've screamed about this with the quarterback situation. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's make the move. You hear about the Giants wanting to trade up to get the number one pick in the draft, right? And draft Cam Ward, because that's who it's going to be, right? I mean, how about the Jets doing it? And I hate giving up number one picks, but you know what? We flip-flop the pick. We give them Tennessee number 7. We give them our second rounder this year, and we give them our first rounder next year. That's a big nut. But to get up and maybe get our franchise quarterback that we've been waiting for forever, I mean, give me a break. And if somehow, some way, if the Jets don't do that, and they're probably not going to, I mean, the Jets have, let's be honest, this organization is ballless, I mean, they got no balls whatsoever. But with that said, okay, they really don't. I mean, starting with the owner, who's a disgrace. But let's just say that the Jets don't make that move, and they're sitting there at 7, and Shadir Sanders, who now is suddenly dropping like a lead balloon, okay, right? All of a sudden, I don't know, he's dropping, and I don't see any way that he gets by the Giants at 3. I mean, I don't see that happening in any way, shape, or form, unless somehow Cam Ward is sitting there at 3 for the Giants. I don't see how he's getting by. Shadir Sanders is getting by the Giants at 3. But you know what? If he falls to 7, I'm taking him. You got to take him. And how many times have we seen when these guys, when their stock starts to drop, that these guys turn into tremendous quarterbacks, right? Right? We saw it with Rodgers, right? His stock dropped on opening, on draft day. We thought he was going to be a top 5 pick. He's sitting in the green room forever until finally Green Bay takes him with like the 23rd pick in the first round, right? How did he turn out? He's going to the Hall of Fame on skates. Of course, it doesn't matter to my franchise. I couldn't wait to get rid of him. But, of course, his stock dropped, right? And we could go on and on with these guys. Lamar Jackson, right? No, last pick in the first round. How's it working out with him? It's unbelievable. So when I start to see that Dan Marino, right? All these other guys, they took ahead of him, right? Elway, Kelly, right? Eason, O'Brien, right? All these guys that they took ahead of, and of course Kelly and Elway are Hall of Famers, of course, right? All these guys they took ahead of Dan Marino, and how'd that work out for the Jets when they took Ken O'Brien over Marino as his stock dropped, right? And he was like, I don't know, what do you go in the 20s, somewhere in the 20s to the Dolphins. So when you start seeing that these quarterback stock is dropping, even more so, take them. If Shadir Sanders, and I know some of my buddies, I just got off the phone with the great Tommy Keenan. He doesn't want Sanders because he thinks Dion would be an interference. I mean, Dion's got to coach his football team. I'm sorry. If Shadir Sanders is there, I'm taking him. And you know that if the Jets don't take him and he's there at 7, he's going to be a star. You just know it, wherever he winds up. I don't know if he'd get by the Raiders at 6, but we'll see what happens. But to me, they got to take a quarterback. I told you, I would even take Jackson Dart's going to wind up going in the first round. I'd take him at 7. You know he's going in the first round. You know, because that's what happens with these quarterbacks. They'll all go in the first round. Dart, Milroe, Howard, right on down the line. Every one of these guys. McCord, watch, they'll all be first-round picks. Dylan Gabriel, all of them. They all say, they're not first-round talent, and then they go in the first round. So, look, if Ward and Sanders are gone and the Jets don't have the balls to try to trade, and look, even if they had the balls to trade up to the first pick, doesn't mean they're going to get it. I mean, Tennessee, to me, needs a quarterback, too. I mean, Will Levis stinks. So, I mean, come on. I mean, don't they need a quarterback? I mean, I don't see how Tennessee doesn't take Cam Ward, but, stranger things have happened. But, seriously, I would take Dart. If Dart's sitting there at 7, yeah, I understand the kid from Penn State, the tight end, Tyler Warren, we love him. The kid from Michigan, the tackle, yeah. No, I would take we need a quarterback. And the only way you can sell me on Tyrod Taylor starting as our quarterback on opening day is if we got a quarterback that we drafted in the first round, ready to play, ready to take over at some point during the year. So we'll see how it plays out. Free agency starts on Monday. I'm sure there'll be a frenzy there. We'll see a lot of big names that are, being let go and all that are going to be available in free agency. We'll see. We'll see if Rodgers winds up with the Giants and all of that. We could go on and on and on. But the draft, of course, not until April 24th, I believe, is the first day of the draft, the Thursday night for the draft. So that's a ways to go. But free agency starts on Monday, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I have no confidence whatsoever in my football team doing the right thing. I just have none. And I've never been at a lower point as a Jet fan than I am right now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Last night, not that I saw it, the Knicks played the Lakers last night in L.A., lost again in overtime to L.A. Brunson got banged up late in the game. Here's all I'll say, all right? The Knicks are 40-22. They're on their way to the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. But why would I think they're making any kind of big run in the playoffs when they can't beat any of the good teams in the league? They can't beat Boston. They can't beat Cleveland. They can't beat Oklahoma City. They can't beat the Lakers. They can't beat the Warriors. Now, they play the Warriors again on this West Coast trip. Let's see if they're going to win that game. They can't beat any of these good teams. Now, things could change in the playoffs. I don't know what's changing, but things could. But right now, the New York Knickerbockers, as good as they've been this year, are on their way to a 3rd consecutive second-round exit. I mean, that's basically where they are right now. That's it. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. They're going to win 50-plus games again. Okay, great. But, I mean, everything right now, they cannot beat any of the good teams in the NBA. And, I don't see where that's – until I start seeing it. I think they play Boston one more time, probably Cleveland one more time. They got another game with the Warriors on this road trip. Let's see. Let's see them beat somebody that's any good. So I don't have a lot of confidence that the Knicks are going to make any kind of a big run. And, Knicks haven't won a championship, as we all know, since 1973. Most of the people that go to the Garden now that are quote-unquote big Knicks fans, right, big Knicks fans, have never seen the Knicks win. So when did they win? It's all great. Got a nice team. Very soft. Don't play any defense. But, we'll see. Beat a good team. It would be nice. Now, as we continue on, I got a lot to cover today, so we're getting more. I got to get into this, okay? The NHL the National Hockey League trade deadline is today. I think it's today at 3:00, right? The Rangers made another move yesterday. They traded Riley Smith. You know, Chris Drury, who I really don't like. I don't know who I dislike more, David Stearns or Chris Drury, right? I don't know. It's close. Now, Stearns is, his first year was successful. And Drury's had success. I mean, as the GM of the Rangers. Rangers have been a good team. They went to they went all the way to the conference finals again last year when they lost. But they've been a good team, not so much this year. Right now, I believe they're tied with Detroit for the final Eastern Conference playoff spot. So is it Detroit or Ottawa? Maybe it's Ottawa. I think it's Ottawa. They actually play Ottawa tomorrow, 12:30 start in Ottawa. That's a big game for the Rangers. But, Chris Drury, before the year started, announced that everybody's open for a trade. We're trading everybody, including Chris Kreider, one of my all-time favorite Rangers, and I want to get to that. And we've seen he's traded Jacob Trouba, he traded Capo Caco, he traded Jimmy Vesey, he traded Ryan Lindgren. Now he's traded Riley Smith. Not that that's a big deal. We knew it was coming. But is he going to trade Kreider today? I mean, Kreider hasn't played in a while. He's been hurt, right? Apparently he's been skating with the team. But, doesn't Chris Kreider deserve – I mean, if you're going to trade this guy – and look, there's a lot of similarities between the Rangers and the Mets. And I'm going to get to all that as we go along. There's a lot of similarities in a lot of different ways. But, I mean – can they, maybe the power play has not been very good. And everybody's saying, well, Adam Fox is out. And Kreider hasn't played either. Chris Kreider is tied with Camille Henry for the most power play goals in the history of the Rangers. Chris Kreider has the third most goals in Ranger history. He's one of only three Rangers, Roger Aubert, John Rattel, and he's the other one, to have over 300 goals as a Ranger. The other two guys are in the Hall of Fame and are up in the rafters, right? Okay. I believe he's got the most goals of anybody in history, more playoff goals than anybody in Ranger history. So this guy's one of the all-time Rangers. He's been there since 2012. He's been in a lot of playoff runs. He went to the finals in 2014 and all of that. And all I hear is, and I know he hasn't had a great year. Don't get me wrong. He's been hurt a lot. He missed a lot of games. He hasn't had a Kreider-type year. He still has 17 goals for a guy that's hardly played, right? He's tied for second on the team with, I believe, Will Cooley and Trocheck for the second most goals behind Panarin. And Panarin's got, 26? And even he hasn't been close to what he was last year when he set the all-time record for points in a season by a Ranger, breaking Jaromir Jagr's record. He had 48 goals and all of that. He hasn't been close to that this year. So we can get into Panarin. He's played better. He's scored goals in the last 3 games and all of that. But are you really going to get rid of Kreider? Shouldn't Kreider be playing? Shouldn't be on the power play where he's been great in his career? Great penalty killer. Can we see him play again? Is he going to play again? Or are you going to dump him for some draft choice today? Give me a break. At the very least, because Drury looks like he's hell-bent on getting rid of him. At the very least, can we wait till the offseason and at least let him have maybe one more playoff run as a Ranger before you dump him? And I said this as well, okay, the similarities between the Mets and the Rangers. First of all, okay, in my lifetime, the Mets have been to the World Series 5 times. The Rangers have been to the Stanley Cup Finals 4 times. The Mets are in the World Series in 69, 73, 86, 2000, 2015. So they've been there 5 times. They won 2. The Rangers have been to the Stanley Cup Finals in my lifetime 4 times. 1972, 1979, 1994 when they won, and 2014, right? And they've won the one in 1994. So they've been there 4 times. So a lot of similarities there, right? The Mets have won one more championship. They've been to one more championship round, if you will. Okay? But the Mets are notorious. You've heard me screaming about this forever. The Mets are notorious about getting rid of basically every great player they've ever had, right? I mean, right, we go right, the list is endless, as we know. From Tom Seaver to Nolan Ryan to Darryl Strawberry, to Ray Knight after he was the MVP of the World Series, to Daniel Murphy after he was the MVP of the NLCS, to Zach Wheeler, to Jose Reyes, David Cone. I mean, Rusty Staub. We go, oh my God. The only guy he ever kept was David Wright. And unfortunately, I don't count Ed Kranepool. And unfortunately, they're going to wear a Kranepool patch this year. Played his whole career there, but he wasn't at the caliber of player of those other guys. So David Wright, and they're going to retire his number this year. By the way, they pumped the prices up for the David Wright retirement ceremony, number retirement ceremony, and all that. Great. Good job by the Mets there. So they've gotten rid of all their top players over the years. They've only been to the World Series 5 times since 1962, 1-2. The Rangers are pretty much similar. I mean, I know Roger Bear played his whole career as a Ranger, but look at the guys they got rid of. They traded Brad Park. They traded John Rattel. They traded Eddie Giacomin. They got rid of Messier. Remember the great line by Dave Checketts, right, about Messier when they got rid of him, and he wound up in Vancouver after that. The line, how many more years do I have to pay for the Stanley Cup? Remember that? The classic line by Dave Checketts. How many more years do I have to pay for the Stanley Cup? And remember, in 1997, which was Messier's last year with the Rangers, that was the only year that Gretzky and Messier played together. And remember, they went to the conference finals that year where they finally lost to the Legion of Doom. Not Boom, that's the Seattle Seahawks secondary. The Legion of Boom, Eric Lindros, John LeClaire, and those guys, and they lost to them in the conference finals. And then they dumped Messier, right? They got rid of Brian Leach at the end of his career to Toronto. They even got rid of Lundqvist, right? Lundqvist was going to play for the Washington Capitals if they didn't find this heart condition that he had, and that stopped him from playing for them. That's the only reason Lundqvist wound up playing his whole career with the Rangers. So the Rangers have done the same thing. They basically, every big player they've ever had, outside of Roger Bear, they've got rid of. I don't think they got rid of Graves at the end. And they get ready to do that with Kreider too. But at the very least, hopefully they don't trade him today. I don't see how you trade him. I don't see how he's got any value at all. He hasn't played. He hasn't played since when? The last game he played, I think, was that Buffalo debacle when they lost 8-2. The game coming out of the four-country tournament or whatever the hell you want to call it, right? Which Kreider played in that too for the United States, right? He hasn't played since that game. He actually scored a goal in that game, and we haven't seen him since. So I mean, you talk about the power play not being what it was. Well, isn't that one of the big reasons? Yeah, Foxes are too, but isn't that one of the big reasons? And the Rangers have played a lot better. I mean, they really have. I mean, they're getting it from a lot of guys. Brendan Ortman has played well, the young kid. Will Cooley's had a really, really good year. Keandre Miller has really started to play very, very good hockey. Since they paired him with Will Borgen, who's played well, who they got in one of the trades. I don't know if that's the Kako trade or the Trouba trade, one of them. Now, he started to play well. Some of these guys, that kid Brett Berard has played pretty well since they called him up. Rempe's been great. I'm telling you right now. We talked about their record with Rempe in the lineup. What is it? 28, 10-5 now, something like that, with Rempe playing. And he's played more. You see Laviolette's playing him more and more. And he's been effective. He really has. I mean, he's got to play as far as I'm concerned. So the Rangers are getting it. They're playing a lot better. They lost a tough game in overtime to Washington the other night. Game where they had the lead midway through the third period. Then Ovechkin scored that goal. And eventually they lost an OT. They didn't get a point in that game. But I believe they're 7-3-1 over their last 11 games and making this playoff push. Aren't they a better team with Kreider in the lineup? Are we going to finally see Kreider playing in Ottawa tomorrow? I mean, I don't know. But let's hope they don't trade him today and unceremoniously dump him for some draft choice that probably is not going to work out anyway. At the very least, Chris Drury, who, by the way, was nowhere near the player that Kreider has been in his career. Let's hope Drury doesn't dump him today. I'm not a big fan of Chris Drury, just like I'm not a big fan of David Stearns. They kind of look alike a little bit, right? But they have kind of the same look, Drury and Stearns, right? I wonder if they talk to each other. I don't know. Not a big fan of either of those guys. All right, I had to say that. But like I said, the Rangers are basically, you look at it, even Yager, right? I forgot about him, even him. After they brought Yager in, Yager has this, one of the best seasons in the history of the team. He scores 54 goals, which is still the record for a Ranger. The Rangers were in the abyss for how many years? They bring Yager in. He takes them to the playoffs about 3 years in a row, and they dump him. Very Ranger-esque. A lot of similarities between the Rangers and the Mets. And one of the big reasons why neither of them ever really win, So there you go. Rangers going on 31 years now. It'll be 31 years this year since they won that elusive Stanley Cup. They're more than halfway to the 54 years they were before without winning. Unbelievable. All right. Benigno, the Oda Pain podcast. I mentioned the Hackensack Brewing Company. We'll be doing our next live podcast that's coming up on Friday, April 4th. We'll probably do 3 during the year, probably do one in the middle of the summer, and then we'll do one right before the start of the football season. So check it out. Located 10 minutes off the George Washington Bridge, less than 30 seconds off Route 4 in beautiful Hackensack, New Jersey. The tap room's open 4:30 to 10 Monday through Friday, 2 to 10 Saturday, 12 to 8 Sunday, 78 Johnson Avenue in Hackensack, New Jersey, right behind the Tombstones. See Mike Jones, see the whole group over there, TJ, everybody. Check out my Oda Pain beer, and we'll see you on April 4th. Now, if you need work done on your car, you know where you got to go. You got to go to Anita Discount Tire in beautiful Rivervale, New Jersey, on Westwood Avenue. See my son Johnny. See Ari, the boss, who does a phenomenal job. Rob, the great mechanic. They took care. We had a big issue. Our power steering went, and we kept filling it up. We thought it was only the container, that there was a leak in the container, whatever it was. I kept filling it up with fluid, and it would last a couple of days, then right back to. And if you ever tried to steer a car that does not have the power steering not working, please, you better be a massive weightlifter to do that. But anyway, we finally got it fixed on Monday. Wasn't cheap, but they had to put in like a whole new system because it was completely corroded. Now, our Jeep has been around for a long time. One of the greatest, probably next to my wife, the best investment we've ever made in as far as an investment. That car has paid for itself over and over, just like Terry has paid for herself over and over and over. Very, very similar. Just remember, guys, there's no free women out there, as we all know.
Oh,
but just pointing it out, And, every guy knows that's true. But God bless. So next to my wife, who's just the best, you couldn't have better than her. The Jeep has been the second greatest investment we've ever made. But anyway, go check out Johnny. Go check out Ari, the whole group over there at Anita Discount Tire. Now, we have a new spot, our good buddies that we love so much at Manscaped. And, the college basketball's coming. There's no doubt about it. The NCAA tournament next week will be all the conference tournaments will be getting underway next week. And then, of course, a week from Sunday is Selection Sunday, and then we'll be getting into the NCAA tournament. Very pumped, especially for the year that St. John's has had. So we got the basketball coming, and we got the Manscaped starting 5. Get ready for the ultimate grooming showdown. Manscaped is bringing its starting 5 to take your game to the next level. The chaos of March is here. The chaos of up and down grooming with Manscaped. And you got to get ready to dominate. Whether you're throwing down on the court or, throwing down a reality check on Steve from accounting after he airballs another presentation. Either way, Steve from accounting. Oh, my God. Hey, stay sharp and feel sharper with Manscaped all season long. You got to check it out. Don't let your grooming game get benched. Head over to manscaped.com. Use the code PAIN for 20% off and free shipping. Get ready to score big with Manscaped. I've been telling you for how long about the 5.0 Ultra Lawnmower that takes care of the lower body. I mean, come on. That's the best. And that's really the point guard. Like, we call that the point guard because that's the most important. The 5.0 Ultra, which takes care of your lower extremities and gives you the illusion of extra inches, that's the floor general. It all starts from there. I mean, let's be real, right? Unbelievable. So, check that out. Then we have the Chairman Plus, which is good for your face. That's kind of like the shooting guard, right? Get your face nice and smooth. Your wife wants, your significant other, whatever, wants to touch you and all of that, the whole deal. I mean, come on. I mean, you got all of this stuff going forward. Come on. Be the all-star of your grooming routine with Manscaped. Full power shave portfolio. Head to manscaped.com. Use the code PAIN. Get 20% off free shipping. Or if you need it today, you can find Manscaped at a store near you. So Manscaped is out there now. And I'm telling you, listen to me. Don't miss this opportunity. Your face and your balls will thank you. She'll thank you. I'm telling you, listen to me. Even if it's not really getting bigger, the illusion of it is phenomenal. It really, really is. It really is. And remember, Manscaped it's not just the 5.0 Ultra. It's not just for your balls and your face. Get the underwear, Manscaped underwear. I wore it playing golf. I always wear it playing golf. Keeps your balls right where they need to be. Nothing worse than when you're on the tee getting ready to swing and, your underwear and one of your balls pops out. I mean, the only ball you want popping is the one you're going to hit off the tee. So get the underwear. They got they got nice T-shirts. You can I talked to you about the Manscaped shampoo and conditioner, which I use. You can use it as a body wash. So Manscaped covers every aspect of your body, every freaking aspect. Check it out. Again, make sure you insert the code PAIN for 20% off and free shipping, and get ready to score big with my buddies at Manscaped. I absolutely love it. Love it. All right. Benigno, the Ode to Pain podcast. Did you see this? I couldn't believe this. I saw this today. I'm watching Sports Night on SNY. And I don't know, Jimmy Fallon, another one of these idiots that do late night TV, another one of these guys. I won't get into them. You couldn't pay me to watch them. But apparently, the St. John's team, including Patino, did some kind of cringeworthy video on Jimmy Fallon's show. And there's Fallon in a white suit standing next to Patino. You know what? And I'm rooting. I love Patino. I'm rooting for St. John's. I want to see them make a big run. They're number 6 in the country right now. I mean, I see all these. Who's that guy? Joe Lenardi. These guys that do the rankings and the first 4, top first 4 seeds, second. Well, how is St. John's not ranked in the top 8? How they're ranked number 6 in the country and they're not one of the top 2 seeds? Really? They're not. I mean, I don't get that. But anyway, there's this cringeworthy video with all the St. John's players singing something about St. John's. Then you got Patino singing something, and he's wearing his white suit, next to Fallon wearing his white suit. Really? I mean, really, Coach? Can you win? Seriously, can you win something first? You've won nothing. Yeah, I know you won the Big East regular season outright. You won the league outright. You won nothing. You still got the Big East tournament. They play Marquette. I think the game is, I don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday. Marquette in Milwaukee. You got one more regular season game, which really is kind of a, almost like a throwaway game, a bigger game really for Marquette than it is for St. John's. But can they win something? How about let St. John's get to the Final Four, and then maybe, once they're in the Final Four, then you can do this dumb video that you did on this stupid Jimmy Fallon show that nobody watches anyway. I mean, come on. Did Jimmy Fallon even know that St. John's existed before Patino got there and they did this year? Did he? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the hell he knows about college basketball or anything. Unbelievable. I saw that today. I was like so pissed off to seeing that. Really. Win something first. You know what I mean? Win something. You didn't win anything yet. You won nothing. The Big East regular season is meaningless as far as I'm concerned. What does it mean? It's nice. You're going to get a high seed in the NCAA tournament. Go win the Big East, get into the Final Four, and then you can do all the dance videos, all the singing videos. You can do whatever the hell you want once you get to the Final Four. I mean, I saw that. I couldn't believe it. I mean, to me, that's really jumping the shark a lot. And then to see Patino in his white suit sitting there with this clown Fallon wearing a white suit too. I mean, give me a freaking break. I just wanted to vomit. I have to say, I just wanted to vomit. So hopefully St. John's makes a big run. I want to see him get to the Final Four, and then you can, maybe you'll go on with that other clown Colbert, and you can do, you can do another show with him once you get to the Final Four. Another guy that nobody watches. Johnny Carson, is he turning over in his grave? What a disaster. Anyway, be that as it may. All right, as we get ready, pumped up. Hey, how about this kid, Brandon Sprout? He looks pretty good for the Mets. I mean, the Met rotation right now, with the injury to Minaya, with the injury to that stiff Montas, I mean, maybe this kid Sprout's going to be something in the rotation. That would be good. He's been okay. I wonder if he winds up starting the year as a Met or not. We'll see. I guess that all remains to be seen. You see, by the way, Jose Iglesias signed with a minor league deal with the Padres. You're going to tell me we couldn't use him? Another brilliant move by the boy genius, Stearns, right? I really wonder. Can't you see David Stearns and Chris Drury just sitting down and having dinner together? Can't you see these two guys just conspiring? How can we F the team up? You know? How can we F the team up a little more? Let me go sign some stiff. Let me not sign Iglesias. You know? Unbelievable. Thank God Alonso's still here, even if it's only 1 year. And let's hope that Chris Kreider survives the deadline today. And his clown Drury, people forget he scored one of the biggest goals against the Rangers in their history of the playoffs when he played for Buffalo, going back to that 2007 season. Remember that? They looked like they had the game won. They were tied 2-2 in that second round playoff series against the Sabres, Game 5 in Buffalo. And I believe it was Drury that scored the tying goal with about 5 seconds left in regulation, and then they wound up losing in overtime. Maxine Afinogenov, yes, say that 5 times fast, scored the goal that won it, and then the Rangers lost Game 6 at the Garden. 2007, check it out. Chris Drury, he's now the GM of the Rangers. I'm telling you, I think him and Stearns are related. They, like I said, they kind of look a little alike, don't they? Drew, if you get a chance, just put a picture of David Stearns and Chris Drury next to each other and tell me you don't think these guys could be brothers. Really. Unbelievable. All right. Everybody, have a great week. Don't forget, check me out tomorrow. The show on FAN, 10 to 2. We got a long show for you tomorrow, 10 to 2. So should be interesting. Got a lot of different things to talk about. Golf season now is ready to roll. The weather's going to be great next week. Right on through, I saw in the 60s from Monday right on through Thursday. So I'm all excited about that. All the big golf courses should be opening this week in the New York metropolitan area. So I'm very, very happy about that. So everybody have a great week. Enjoy yourself. As always, all the love. And of course, God bless America. And by the way, how great was the big guy the other night? Oh, baby. Ow! Talk to you tomorrow on The Fan.